The Morning Hog, 95.7 The Hog, Riggs, Guy, and the Morning Brew Review, Vinnie, S.R. Perrott.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for having me again. All right.
Welcome back. This is Why Are We So Hyped, you might ask yourself? Because it's Craft Beer Week, and I know it's been going on all week, but we got a whole weekend to explore the world of craft beers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I brought a bunch of different beers today.
Yeah, you did.
You know, we've got everything from hard seltzer all the way up to a special ale from Lagunitas. So we'll go down the row and kind of open them up and go from lightest to hardest on the flavor profile.
I like it.
So I know you guys are excited. I've actually got a beer with 100 IBUs. I think you're going to enjoy.
Whoa!
So I think we're good with that.
You know what Guy always says? If it ain't 100. And I don't know what he says after it. I ignore it. I can't remember, but it's a catchphrase for sure. All right,
liar.
And then look, Vinnie brought cups. All right, so this is a big deal. This is a little exploration because a lot of stuff we've never tried before. Different, as you mentioned, different flavor profiles, different kinds of brew. So we're going to learn a lot today.
Absolutely.
Our taste buds are going to learn a lot today.
Taste buds are going to go crazy today. I'm going to take you from down here to up there, back down to here, then around the corner, up again, and back down.
And a fun thing we're offering only this time for the people who are watching online on YouTube, lick your screen, and you'll taste each beer. Try that.
Yeah, it's called Look-A-Vision.
Yeah, that's right. Give it a shot. There we go. All right, this is exciting.
Right. So the first one we're going to start with is going to be actually Truly.
Okay.
Truly is a sparkling carbonated water. It's like a seltzer, hard seltzer. It's 5% alcohol.
Yeah.
It's only 100 calories. The problem with these is they're so easy to drink that when you're out there doing that lawnmower beer we talk about, you start drinking these, it's like drinking seltzer, and before you realize it, your lawnmower's going in a zigzag motion.
Wow.
But it's a really good summer seltzer.
Did you just say that's alcoholic water?
Yes, it is. It's alcoholic seltzer water.
Wait, how long has this been a thing for a while? I've seen these, the last couple of years. But
just really started coming on strong about 2 years ago. This is actually Sam Adams' version. It's called Truly, up out of Boston. So we're going to go ahead and give this one a try. This is the Sicilian Blood Orange, and like I say, it's 5% alcohol. Yeah. And you see, it's going to pour clear like water, like a seltzer.
Right.
And it's going to be very fizzy, like a seltzer.
Are they chasing an audience that may just be health nuts, but they also want a little booze in their system? Is that the idea?
I think that's a big idea with that, number one. And number two, I'm telling you, for hot days, when it's out there, you don't want to drink a porter or something else.
Right.
You can grab one of these, drink them, and not even realize it. You could actually put vodka in them.
Right.
You can mix them with whatever you want.
That is not bad.
All right.
Absolutely, right?
And I'm not a seltzer water fan.
Oh, it does smell very fruity.
I love seltzer water. Being diabetic, I drink a lot of seltzer water.
I get this now.
This is really nice and clean.
I can see where this would be. Yeah, if you were thirsty and you went a couple cans deep, you're starting to see colors you never saw before.
Absolutely. I hate it when I
does
go
have a lot of flavor
deep.
though. What's the process here? It's you have seltzer water. I get. How do they integrate?
It's basically almost distilled, from what I understand. So it's that's why it's low in calories. There's not a lot of malt in here at all. There's very little, if there is any, to get that alcohol. So they throw malt in there. So technically, it's not fully distilled. So it's not a liquor. It's kind of on that border, but there's not a lot of malt at all. So it's not really like a FMB, as they would call it.
I never knew what those were, and I think I've seen a couple of these in our work fridge down there. Someone was getting one over on the company.
One of those crazy sales meetings. I get that. I'll see how that goes.
Yeah, Mike's Hard Lemonade puts one out as well. It's called White Claw. That's another great one that we sell. It's in cans. Right. I just figured I'd bring the Sam one in so we could go with it. But yeah, they're great, and you get them cold. Like I say, it's just like drinking a seltzer. You realize it's 5%.
No.
You're just sitting there and you're drinking it, having a good time, and then you go from there. And like I say, you can actually mix it with vodka. We were doing it with copper bottom vodka and lime and ice at the beer event a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing. So
well, in the middle of your day, a little refresher. This is a perfect way to go, I think.
Absolutely.
And what is that, Sicilian blood orange?
Yeah, it's a Sicilian blood orange. That means it holds a grudge if you're not careful.
Right.
And it'll take out your whole family.
I've seen that in movies. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No
I'm stealing the rest.
Yeah, you got it. All right. I like it when you steal the rest. That means you like it.
You've already found a winner for can number one.
Ding, ding, ding.
Winner. Chicken dinner.
All right.
Yeah. So
where next?
Pretty excited about that. The next one we're going to work with is actually QUAT by Tampa Bay.
QUAT?
QUAT.
What?
QUAT. It's actually a golden ale made with kumquat juice.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
It's really delicious. This is coming on the tail end of the seasonal, so you can still find some out there.
Okay.
There are new seasonals coming out here in about a week or two. One of my favorite beers. I love this beer. You're going to taste it. It's very refreshing.
Right.
I know, you're a big IPA guy. This is nice because it has some bitterness, but it's from the fruit, not from hops.
Really? Okay.
So when you're drinking it, you get that nice citrus notes up front and a little bit of bitterness from the kumquat on the end. And these guys are Tampa Bay Brewing, and they're out of Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay,
Absolutely.
Florida.
Tampa Bay, Florida.
If this were the state, there's Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
There you go. So good. It's a good graphic I just did. QUAT, which a lot of people would say you can't say on radio. We can. We're doing this
QUAT
segment
legally, correct?
Yes, that's right. Thanks to SR Perrott for the
And
vocabulary
for those of you
builder.
at home on the video, we'll show you that it does definitely say QUAT.
Now, if you've never eaten a kumquat before, it is a fruit. I would have guessed vegetable back in the day before I paid attention to what was fruits and vegetables. But is this the only kumquat based beverage that you know of?
That I know of. I'm sure there's more out there
Yeah.
that I'm missing, but I know that these guys actually buy the entire lot
wow.
from the farmer. They go down every year and they buy the entire crop. So when they see him come and he gets ready, sells them out, and they just go ahead and press them, work them into the beer.
That is a very interesting flavor.
Absolutely.
Seasonal.
It's a seasonal.
Seasonal
so
spring,
we're coming
yeah.
spring seasonal. So we're coming to the end of it. That's why I wanted you to try it. It's still available out there. I know that Mr. Dunderbox should have some. I know Total Wine should have some.
Okay.
I think some of the Publicists should still have some. Their next one coming out is a fruited sour ale, but down the road when we get into Tampa, I'll bring that in and let you guys try that.
Okay.
I just wanted to bring this one in before we lost the season on it because it is one of my favorites.
This is tart on the front, but not the aftertaste. It's good. I feel like I'm getting healthy. I feel like I'm having all this fruit and getting my vitamins are going up.
Yeah, your vitamin C's are going up. Absolutely. I can see it in your face.
Yeah,
right now.
well, it's the thanks to the camera.
Absolutely. So, like I say, Tampa Bay, great brewery. One of the other ones they do is Reef Donkey, which is a great pale ale that's out there right now.
yes.
It's amazing. There again, we'll have them down the road, but
Yes.
I just wanted to bring the QUAT in so we can try the QUAT.
Very tasty. Thank you for the fruity start. Now I feel like we're going to escape from the fruit for a minute because that bottle's just way too big.
Yeah. Well, the next one that we're going to work with is actually SAHTEA. Mm-hmm. This is by Dogfish Head.
Okay.
It's part of their Ancient Ale series.
All right.
And we had talked about doing bottle shares with a couple of the guys in the past.
Yes.
This is one of the things that you would bring to your bottle share.
Okay.
It's actually a 2011. So it's, when we were in 2008, so it's 7 years old.
That seems impossible, though.
Absolutely. You wouldn't think so, but you can age beer.
Really?
Usually you want to be above 8%. You really don't want to age IPAs unless it's like 120. 120 is 20% alcohol, and that kind of breaks down and turns into a sweet nectar type thing.
Okay.
But with your the hoppier the beer, the longer you sit on it, the more those hop bitterness breaks down and it becomes sweeter of a beer. But this SAHTEA, it's actually done with an ancient practice, I believe, from the Finnish, where they take the wort and they caramelize it over lava rocks outside, over hot rocks outside, and that caramelizes and brings up the sweetness. And I believe it's got tea in it, and it's got juniper berries as well.
Okay.
So this is 9%. So we're going to go ahead and try this one. And like I say, this is one of those beers that you'd want to bring to a bottle share.
Yeah.
You've had it sitting on your shelf for a while.
Yeah, really.
In a nice dark place, cool place, not out in the middle of the sun.
You don't want the sun to get that, right?
Absolutely. And you want to bring it in and show people and say, hey, look what I've got. Look, I didn't drink this.
While we're waiting for the pour, here's a fun fact about 2011. Right there. So it was a great year. If you guys remember that.
I don't know how you do that, but it's amazing.
I know a guy.
You do?
Yeah, I know a guy I work with. All right. SAHTEA. Now, where can you find this? Seems super exotic.
Believe it or not, Mr. Dunderbox, Abbey and DeLand, and Total Wine, they have some vintage stuff as well. And I believe that all three of those locations, you can get this beer from.
Really?
And it's only about 9 IBUs. Like I say, juniper berry, it's got tea. It's been aged. And as it ages, it kind of breaks down and really becomes more complex.
This I know I've referred to the lambic ales before. This has a little bit of that lambic flavor. Is it,
well, it's coming from your tea and your juniper berry and the fruit that's in it. And being that they caramelize those, that wort, that malt, it brings a lot of sweetness out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
Absolutely.
That's crazy. That's crazy that the aging could do that. Well, so if you were to, in a normal IPA, if you leave it sitting on your shelf for 6 or 7 years, it essentially turns what?
It'll turn into like a malt bomb, they call it. Unfortunately, this is not an IPA. This is a SAHTEA version, but it's a malt bomb. It becomes very malty and sweet, and you lose a lot of that hop. One of the beers you do want to do that with is the Dogfish Head 120. And that's 20% alcohol. And usually what you do, if you're able to, put one on a shelf for about a year and a half, pull it out and drink it, and it's amazing. Even longer you can go. I actually opened up a beer that was 10 years old. It was a Russian Imperial Stout by Rogue. Held up amazing. It was delicious. It really became more complex. A lot of the chocolates came out. And a lot of that coffee notes came out. So they sit there and they become more complex as they go. Now, you don't want to age anything. Usually, you don't want to age below 8%. The lower the alcohol, it's a little bit tougher. They get off flavors. It's not good. But you get 8% and above, it's a really good thing.
Is the bottle a better thing to do that in than a can? Or does
no, you can age it in a can as well. And in fact, if you age it in a can, there's no oxygen or light introduced to it. So that's good.
Cool.
But bottles are just as well, as long as you keep them in a cool, dark place. You don't necessarily have to refrigerate them, but if you want to, that's fine. But just make sure they're in a cool, dark place.
Cool. Yep, I like this. If you're a beer collecting geek like me and you have a cabinet full of beers that you are shunning because you don't want to open them unless it's an emergency, then you break the glass and you get in there.
Yeah, it's funny. I have a bunch on top of my cabinet. I was going to bring in some today, but I'm like, no, I don't want to pull it from my what do you call it? So we'll just go ahead and pull the Dogfish.
That's right.
You got to try that one.
That was good. That's very good, though, man.
It is very nice. Very. It's not too sweet. It's very clean, and it doesn't taste like 9%.
What is the difference between if you open that in 2011 flavor-wise? What
you won't get as much sweetness in it, and the tea won't come out as much. But it's still a great beer. It's not a bad beer. You can drink it fresh. I'm not telling you not to.
Sure.
But, sometimes what people do is what they call a vertical. So they'll buy one for every year, and after about 5 years, they sample them all together, and they call that a vertical. So you go from 2010 to 2015, and you sample each beer to see how different it is every year.
All right. Write that down in our catchphrases. Doing a vertical.
Doing a vertical.
Absolutely. Right. Doing a vertical 2 cans deep.
I was just actually looking up dogfish.com. They have a pretty good site over here.
Yes, they do. Dogfish.com has an amazing site. It's an amazing brewery. They've been around for a long time. Like I say, this is part of their Ancient Ale series, which they were doing practices from years and years and years ago, and just kind of reinvent them and redo them. On these. They don't do them as much now, but they do have some great beer, Dogfish. And once we get into talking about them, I've got a lot more we're going to bring in. So they have a great portfolio.
It's a good sign of good beer, too, when you're licking the inside of your cup to get more. By the way, that's what I was just not doing.
Holding it upside down.
Yeah, I'm really probably about to pour it all over my shirt. All right. I see another Dogfish Head cap right there. So what's coming up next, Vinnie? This is very exciting.
Well, this is actually Dragons and Yum Yums.
What? Is that really what it's called?
It's called Dragons and Yum Yums.
It is.
Some animation right
there. So Dragons and Yum Yums.
What would Yum Yums look like?
Yum Yum berries, actually, is what they are.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's also dragon fruit, black carrot juice, and passion fruit juice. And this is a pale ale. So this actually came out for Record Store Day, which I know passed about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Love Record Store Day.
But it actually came out for Record Store Day. This is they did a collaboration with Flaming Lips, so they're going to put out an LP with songs from the Flaming Lips. They also put out a Record Store Day LP, and then in the meeting I went to last year, they talked about possibly doing a record with beer inside of it, kind of like the one record that came out with the blood, quote, quote, blood. They're talking about possibly putting beer inside of it as well. Now, if that comes out, I'm not sure, but if it does, that'd be awesome.
That's a great
promotion.
And
there again, it's all part of the Flaming Lips. So
very good.
I think you like music, so that's why I brought this in.
I love the music. I love to listen to my beer. Well, this is good. I like the name of it. It makes me feel like it's something I could order at the Asian buffet down the street here on ISB.
Dragons and Yum Yums.
Yeah, I like that, and some sweet and sour chicken.
Yes,
absolutely. All right. Oh, it's got a good color to it. Look at that.
It's got a nice hue to it.
Guy, you've got a beautiful hue.
It's coming from your Yum Yum berries and your dragon fruit.
I feel like we melted down some crayon.
I like to smell it before I taste it.
Yeah. Well, that's what you want to do. That's kind of how you taste. is basically you want to smell it first, and then you want to take 2 sips. Make sure
Wow.
you take 1 sip, let it wash over your tongue, and then take a second sip.
Wow.
Yeah? You're down?
Absolutely.
You know, it might be a good time for a Guy assesses this beer in numbers. Guy?
10.
10.
Good.
Absolutely.
All right, Guy. I like
That's the
that.
first number I can think of. I give this a 10.
I remember
Absolutely.
when we first started this, you're like, I like IPAs. That's all I like. But look,
I didn't say that's all I like. I said it's my favorite.
We're getting you out there, though. We're
this
getting
is
trying some
great.
Different stuff. So
Yum,
The
yum.
flavor is amazing.
it's delicious.
stealing that bottle.
Absolutely. You
Yeah,
can
I
have the
know.
bottle.
I'm going for it. Yeah.
And,
Notice I left this big one. I like it, but
I
this
know,
one, wow.
Stop hoarding all the bottles. That's
Absolutely.
really,
Oh, there it
unbelievable.
goes.
You just got a lot more yum.
Yeah, he got yum,
That's
yum, yum, yum.
really good.
So,
Guy like Yum Yum.
guy like yum, yum.
I'm partial to the dragon fruit myself, but you can have the rest of the yums. But that's very,
I appreciate it.
And there's black carrot juice in there and passion fruit.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. I don't even know what black carrot juice tastes like.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna
Well, I do now.
Absolutely.
But it does sound all very healthy. Once again,
Very healthy.
You
So
know?
when you're sitting there doing your yoga, you can have one of these dragons and yum yums, and you can disappear off into where you want to be.
so good.
Yeah.
Is Dogfish Head notorious for making those kind of
Yes.
strange?
Oh,
twisted-
they do some crazy stuff
Yeah.
out there. He does some really he stretches the limits
Yeah.
on what he does, and he always has.
I feel like I picked up one of their samplers one time that had that was like 10-ounce bottles, and it was all these experimental things. And it's great to try that kind of, especially here on Craft Beer Week, where you're trying stuff that you would never normally try, or you're branching out, or you don't know what it is, and you give it a shot.
Nice part about a lot of these beers is you can go to places like Total and Dunderbox and even ABCs, and you can mix 6-packs. So
Yeah.
if you don't want to buy a whole 6-pack, you
Yeah.
can go get 6 different bottles or cans or whatever you want to do. Put them in that 6-pack, take them home, and now you can sit at home and try each individual beer, figure
Yeah.
out what you like, and then go back and buy it.
Yep.
This is another one of those beers that if women don't like beer, give them this.
Get this, yeah. This
Absolutely.
It's got a ton of flavor.
And this is actually still available. I know that Total Wine has some. I know that Mr. Dunderbox has some. And I believe some of the Publixes may have some left as well.
Okay, wow, all right. Go stalk it, everybody.
Great beer. Yeah, get it out there.
Dragons and Yum Yums. I love
Dragons
it.
and Yum Yums. Gotta love it.
Again.
So, there again, it's one of those beers that coming towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
So I wanted you guys to try it here and get it out there
Very
and
good.
see something different.
Thank
right?
you for treating us to that. That's really good.
Yeah.
All right, you'd think we'd be spoiled by now, but no. Wait, there's more.
There is more.
We got 3 more brews over there, and I see a dead guy.
Yeah, we got some Dead Guy from Rogue. This is a German Maibach style beer. This was actually created back in the about 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Mexico City is a sister city of Portland.
Okay.
So they celebrate the Day of the Dead. So they decided to come out with a beer called Dead Guy.
Okay.
So they created the German Maibach style Dead Guy, which it is now. This beer, when I first started selling the craft beer about 10 years ago, 11 years ago with SR Perrott, really got me hooked into crafts.
Yeah.
Very nice and clean German Maibach style. Very enjoyable. A little bit malty.
Right.
I think it's 6.5% if I remember correctly. Very nice, good, even entry level craft beer that we talked about.
Yeah.
If you're nervous about stepping up into a craft beer,
Sure.
great beer to start with.
Okay. Drinkable.
And these guys are out of Oregon, Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And they have some crazy stuff they do as well.
Yeah.
This is the guy I think we were talking about with the beard beer. Rogue is the one that did the beard
This
beer.
is the one. Oh, really?
Absolutely.
That
So this
pardon
isn't
me.
that beer, but they did the beard beer. I tried to find one of those for
They
you.
used
but-
actual beard hairs in
well,
the beer
they
one
used
time. I believe.
yeast.
Yeast from
not
the beer.
hairs.
Yeah, that's right.
They used the yeast.
Well, you might find one stray in there. That's okay.
Absolutely.
You win a prize. You win a T-shirt. I actually had a T-shirt of that can. I did. It's a true story. I had a T-shirt of that logo right there on that can that you're holding, and it got stolen out of a dryer one time at an
was the
apartment
dryer
complex.
in your house?
At an apartment complex.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm down
like,
a
check
shirt.
your
If
wife
anybody's
first.
seen it, you send it back. Ooh, 'cause I want that thing.
That's smells malty.
Yes, that's what we talked about. It's going to be a little bit more
Yeah.
on the malty side, being that German Maibach. It's going to have a little clean finish, though. It's not going to be too sweet.
So Vinny's taking us across the palette rainbow right now.
Absolutely. I'm trying to hit you
Oh, I can
everywhere.
feel. I can see this coming.
I'm trying
this,
to...
This one is a lot more of an investment in your taste buds and your stomach. This is like a meal.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. And I'm assuming Dunderbox over there at the mall all over this.
Big Ted has everything.
Yeah.
Same thing, like I say, going back to ABC's, Total Wines,
Yeah.
Publix's. This is pretty much everywhere. They actually just switched over to cans from bottles.
Okay.
A lot of your guys are doing that, and I think we talked about that before.
Okay.
Much better for the product. It's like drinking out of a keg. No lights allowed in. No oxygen's allowed in.
Right.
That years ago about tasting like a tin can is gone.
Okay. Yeah.
Keystone kind of started that whole thing with their liner,
Right.
and then everybody's kind of developed it from there.
It's a good point. That's a very good point because there was that used to be a thing, but that is not in any way modern canning a thing anymore, right?
No. That's why cans are so much better for their beer.
Yeah.
Sorry,
This is
guys.
very good. No, this is great, and it does have a flavor of a much darker beer, a much thicker beer without the
Without it
heaviness.
being much
Yeah.
darker and thicker,
Yeah.
which the next one's going to be. But absolutely. So there again, it's that German Maibach style. It's an old style. It's great. It's lager. It's easy to drink. It's got a nice finish on it, not too super sweet. Gives you a little bit of a drier finish.
Okay, love
It's
it.
not exactly my style, but it's not bad at all.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
maybe this one will be. Get ready. I see
So,
Central 28 lurking.
You remember when we had Central 28 in and he was talking about some of his special beers that
Yes.
he does? I actually have a can of their Breakdown Porter, which is a chocolate cherry porter.
Look out!
What?
It's time for dessert, bro.
So we're going to have a nice little dark ale right now. It's going to have notes of chocolate, some hints of cherry,
Okay.
a little coffee, and it's made with their porter base. Delicious beer. It's called Breakdown.
Breakdown, which is not a autobiographical name, I would assume,
No,
right? Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Good.
I,
Remember that day where I had the emotional breakdown? Let's do a beer.
Which
that
day?
was- that was about an hour ago.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it was a Wednesday.
Oh, it is nice and dark.
All right. Yeah, definitely. Like you said, the hue is there.
You can smell the chocolate.
Absolutely.
Now, in this process, they for people who don't know, they're throwing real chocolate into the tubs, right? In the
They're actually using chocolate malt.
chocolate malt. Okay.
Yep, and then they use actually cherries are getting thrown in
Yeah.
there as well.
Yeah.
To get that actually cherry juice to kind of get that flavor
Okay.
profile. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
if you get it a little bit, you're going to get a little hint of coffee underneath too. If you
Yes.
get that right, a little bit of chocolate, and then that cherry hits you real nice, clean. A little bit of a heavier,
Yeah.
thicker beer.
They don't hit you at once. It's like a ride in your mouth.
It's kind of like the snozberries taste like snozberries.
Yeah.
The blueberries taste like blueberries.
Yeah.
So it kind of runs you through that
I get you. It pinpoint those flavors as you're enjoying
as you're
this.
drinking it down through. Absolutely.
I get chocolate first,
Yeah.
then coffee, then the berry.
It's the beauty
That's
of
what I
craft
get.
beer week. You find new stuff like this.
Yeah.
You try it.
Yeah,
Find
go out
flavors you
there and
like.
try. That's the key. You know, there's so much beer out there now. Don't be afraid. You know, just
Yeah.
get out there and jump online, take a look, see what
Mm-hmm.
you like to drink, plug it in, and it'll tell you what's comparable. Go out there and try it.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt.
And you're right, those sampler 6-packs or whatever that you do, get 6 different beers. And I've done that
Absolutely.
so many times, and I've found the beer that I love in a certain genre just by doing that.
Just
And
by
you go-
grabbing that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then a lot of your guys will do mixed 12 packs.
Mm-hmm.
So you get it. There's 2 of each, and now you've got 2 of each different beers in there, and you can pick
good.
what you want, and like it and go with it.
That's very good. That's very tasty, but it's still very drinkable. Don't
Very sessionable.
feel
And-
like it's a threat. That
And
it's
these
dark.
guys are right in our backyard, right into Barry.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Nice.
Absolutely. So it's looks like it's only 5.5% alcohol, so nice and clean and easy to drink. And
Did that
there
come
again,
did that come out of your
back
private reserve, by the way? Because I know
Yes,
you
it did.
You have to start
Yeah.
to hoard those. So,
Yeah.
So,
So-
props to Vinnie for giving it up for his special beers.
there. This only comes out once a year. It
Yeah.
comes out on draft and very minimal in the cans.
Okay.
They may have some left at Central 28. I'm not sure, but this comes out of my reserve that they'd given me, and I put it away, and we brought it out. So
Thank you for sharing.
yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for that.
sharing is caring.
Caring.
Absolutely.
There's a phrase that pays right there. Yeah. You get that, you get a free beer. All right. Well, there's one sad beer left. But don't be sad.
He's not sad.
We're
He's
not
special.
We're not sad. Oh my God!
He's
look at that!
special.
Look at that label.
This is Lagunitas WALDOS Special Ale.
Okay.
So this is the Muhammad Ali of beers that we're tasting right now.
Absolutely.
All
This
right.
is over 100 IBUs.
Yeah.
It's 11.2% alcohol.
Oh, boy.
But it does not drink like 11.2%.
Okay. Yeah, because we talked about this alcohol content before. Some of those beers that have a higher level are not. They're not threatening. They still are very drinkable. It's not like you're getting knocked out by the scent of it.
Absolutely. It's what they call it.
Wow.
I knew it, guy. I knew it.
Oh, this smells amazing.
You got to put your pants
Are
back
there
on. But I knew
rainbows
it.
shooting out of your head? I think so.
I can't believe you were looking over here when I did that.
I know.
Oh, that's pretty good.
So this is actually, like I say, it's 100 IBU. Whoop.
Yeah, well, that's all
Let me
right.
get you another one.
Soldier down.
Absolutely.
Boom. Put down the discard
Oh,
pile.
that is definitely in your face.
So
Yeah.
this is the most popular one we've had at a couple of the past beer fests we've done in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll sniff. Oh.
Yeah, see?
I can see.
See? Now,
Oh, Vinnie.
it tastes even better than it smells.
So I saved the best for last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Guy and I might be exactly in tune with the flavor profile.
I
here,
think
'cause
you
this
guys
is-
are. It's like a tuning
All right, so what are we
fork.
tasting
I watch
here?
you guys moving
What,
the same motion.
Yeah, there may be.
Absolutely.
What are we getting in flavor wise right here? What are we getting into?
You're starting to get into that citrus from the hops that
Mm-hmm.
they're using, a little bit of the bitterness from the hops as well, and you get that aromatics from the hops from the dry hopping. That's where you're getting that smell, that citrus kind of smell from like what we called about a couple weeks ago. It's that almost ganj smell, that you're getting off of that as well.
But you're right on with the. This does not drink like or taste or smell like a high gravity beer.
No.
That's one thing about Lagunitas. They want their beers to be very approachable.
Yeah.
Even the 11%ers, they want them to be very drinkable. And
How do you negotiate that? Because I've had some beers that were high alcohol content and you can smell it when you crack it open. What
it
is
all
the
depends on the hops and
Yeah.
the malts that they're using and how they use it in the process. If you're just trying to jack it up and you're just throwing a bunch of malt in there and not a lot of hop to kind of mask that and bring that flavor together,
Okay.
you're going to get what they call the heat. You're going to
Yeah.
get the smell and you're going to get that burn as you drink it down.
Yeah.
These you don't get that burn at all.
No.
So, if you're an IPA drinker and you want to know what heaven tastes like, right here.
That's right.
This is amazing.
Again, rainbows shooting out of that cup right now. That's
And they don't
very
even
good.
call it an IPA; they call it a special ale.
Oh, special.
yeah.
It is
All right,
special.
So it is
now
very special.
I know it's limited, but can people track it down?
This can be tracked down. As a matter of fact, this is a season coming in right now.
Okay.
We're about midway in,
Okay.
and there's still enough out there you can get it. All the draft is out there. I only got a few in, but there's still package available. There again, Total Wine,
Yep.
ABC, Mr. Dunderbox, Abby, I believe, has some.
Oh.
Some of your local guys, Kenny's Liquor down in Orange City, you got them all out there
Yeah.
available. So those guys are good havens if you want some real good craft beers.
And I got Kenny's down there in Edgewater too. And but those of you who go to the mall, and maybe you're being dragged by your wife, your daughter, whatever, and you got to go to the mall. This Dunderbox, go! This is a hidden treasure, right? This
Absolutely.
You have no
He's been
idea.
there 40 years.
You have no idea what awaits you right there.
Absolutely. It's a plethora, heaven of beer
Yeah.
and food. He's got amazing sandwiches and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. He's one of the great places I go to. And
Awesome.
Ted's been there 40 years. Great guy.
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
And let's, thank God for SR Perrott for putting this stuff out there. Because why would we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know where to get it. SR Perrott making it happen right here. We get these flavors.
Oh, I want to thank the Hog for having us on here to let people know where to put it out. So
There's a lot of love in this room right now.
I'm about to hug everybody here in about 2 seconds.
Weekend now.
I gotta
We're
go.
gonna have the weekend. Before we hug, tell everybody where what they should do. Is there anything happening Craft Beer Weekend
Yeah,
here?
I know that Brass Tap's doing a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
I know that Total Wine's got some stuff going on. Mr. Dunderbox, I believe, has got a tasting going on. Abby's
yeah.
got stuff going on. Just check your Facebook. There's a lot of different events going on all over the place. Small, maybe glass giveaways or meet the brewers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch, and enjoy, guys. Get out there and enjoy American Craft Beer Week. That's why we got it out here. We want to show everybody around the country that Americans can brew beer. For years and years, it was all about the Germans and the Belgians, and now the Americans are in play, and we're showing them how to do it.
Guy.
So if you guys want to see how much I love Lagunitas, come over here a second.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. Get that camera over there.
I have their logo on my laptop.
Boom.
The red splotch.
That's it. USA. USA.
Go out and get that beer.
Absolutely, guys. Make sure you and enjoy Craft Beer Week out there.